Hi guys, we are bringing you a few thoughts on bravery and courage today. Here we go. 1. The meaning of bravery varies from person to person. Being brave is not about doing what society defines as brave, but whatever requires you to overcome your fears, as history is full of demonstrations of courage that only earned the brave label decades after the act.
What makes acts of bravery change from person to person is the fear component. If you have a problem standing up for yourself and you manage to do it, that may not be perceived as brave or courageous by people for which being more outspoken comes naturally. So you downplay your actions just because other people don't see the meaning in it, and you lose the opportunity to change your life. So your first step may not be as important to other people, but it sure is for you.
2. Acts of courage seem like one's imposition of one's will to the world, but before that, something more important takes place away from the spotlight. That is the imposition of one's will onto itself.
Going back to the example of standing up for yourself, the act of being more assertive will require you to do some work within first, and as some of it is as simple as acknowledging that you do have to be more assertive if you're not. You do have to be bolder if you struggle with that. And once you've done that homework, you're more likely to persevere on your efforts to becoming a more courageous person.
3. Bravery and courage are, at the end of the day, habits. Every act of courage makes the next one that much easier. Every act of cowardness makes the next one more likely. After enough acts of bravery, you earn the label for yourself, just as you would after enough acts of cowardness. And the label, in turn, makes it much more likely that you will remain the person you've been in the past. All it takes is one act in the opposite direction to reverse the trend.
Like most things in life, courage is also a habit. The more you push yourself to take not just action, but bold action, the easier it becomes. And this is still true even when you have the reputation for not being a courageous person. Sometimes all it takes is one brave act to change things completely.
4. Bravery and courage are not synonyms for aggression. One may be courageous without being aggressive, as one can just as easily be aggressive without being courageous. In fact, often it is the case that aggression is not a sign of courage or confidence, but a sign of insecurity. You know deep down how weak you are, and the only way to avoid feeling overwhelmed by this truth is by overcompensating.
When we think about courage, confidence, or any other positive trait, we often equate them to some behavior we often see manifested by those traits. So, people who tend to be more courageous or more confident are known or can be known for being more aggressive or for taking bold action. So if you want to look courageous or confident, you may choose to become more aggressive as a result, right? But the only problem is that the homework inside is still not done. It's much better to be who you claim to be, both inside and out.
5. The way to bravery and courage begins with a journey within. One has to learn to consistently get over its own impulses for cowardness if courage is to be developed, as you can only really stand up for the many once you've managed to stand up for yourself. This is true even when the person you are being assertive to is no one other than yourself.
The first person you fight against is your fearful self, or the fearful version of you. And this is often one of the most difficult and yet most important battles to win. If you can win this game against yourself more consistently, chances are that displaying courage outwardly will be much easier.
Hey, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to help us grow this channel. Bye.